Hello, Death and Entertainment YouTube. How are you?
Good evening.
We are going live with a story that's, pretty new here. There's some developments that we've been following, and we want to get ahead of this story because some details might be coming out soon.
It piqued our interest.
Yeah,
This is a very juicy, demented story
very demented.
where the details don't add up.
Yeah. So if anybody doesn't know, the Kansas City Chiefs fans, they were having this party. There's allegedly 5 of them that were there.
Wait, so it's a party with just 5 people?
Yeah.
I'm not judging, but that's
We've
not really
had parties with less.
It's not really a party.
You son of a gun.
Yeah, just me and you. It's a get together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not a party.
You're like, hey, let's split hairs right here.
Would you call this a party?
This is a goddamn party.
Okay, fine.
We got the fine people of YouTube with us.
It's semantics, but you all know that if you say the word party, personally, I'm imagining, house music and a punch bowl, ecstasy being passed around.
Hey, well, we don't know what was passed around that
True.
night. So if anybody doesn't know this story, essentially what happened was there was this guy that owned a house, and he had 3 friends over, and another friend came later. So there were 5 people total.
Okay.
It originally came out that it was just 4 people, but they have this get together, not a party. Alejandro does not respect that this was a party.
A get together, yeah.
It was a get together. Okay. So they have this get together, and then the homeowner says that everybody left, and he went to sleep. For the next 2 days, the wives and families of 3 of his friends that were there that night were calling him and Facebook messaging him.
And this is in Palo Alto?
I believe this is in Missouri.
Oh, why would I think Palo Alto?
I have no idea.
That's way off.
Way off. Samsonite.
Yeah. Maybe I was dreaming.
You were dreaming because this was in Kansas, north of Kansas City.
No, but he's some kind of executive or some kind of like.
Who?
The guy that owned the house.
I don't know that to be a fact. Okay. We'll have to look that up.
I'm just making up fake facts here.
Yeah, you're like, it's not a party. It wasn't. It was in Palo Alto. You got a lot of.
I'm way out here. This is what happens when you try to say facts without
Slippy Samson.
Without looking them up first. But here's in my mind, I thought he was like a tech guy.
Yeah,
but forget it. Doesn't matter.
Forget about it.
We're in Missouri.
We are. So the homeowner has a bunch of people over, 4 friends. He says everybody leaves. He goes to bed. When he wakes up 2 days later, he finds all these messages and stuff that came to his phone. One of his friends' wives showed up to his house, kicked the door down, breaks in, and then finds the dead bodies of 3 of his friends that never returned home in the backyard.
Days later.
2 days later, yeah. They were frozen in the backyard, covered in snow. Very suspicious. But I wanted to cover this because the family is coming out, and they're going on like all the news. They're going on News Nation and, talking to different news outlets saying that they think something very wrong happened. Here we go. Yeah, we got Matthew Decker, official, saying hello from Saratoga. What's up, Matthew?
Oh, hi. Happy Saturday night.
Happy Saturday. And Mark, what's going on?
Mark.
Good to see you.
Wish you could join us.
Yeah. It's a very weird situation. And people are saying, the family's like, we have no idea how this could have happened. People, Chris Cuomo and other people from News Nation interviewed the families, and they were like, did they do drugs? Do you think that they did drugs? And every single one of the families were like, these people were not drug addicts. And I think that's a very important distinction, because you don't need to be a drug addict to die from overdosing on drugs.
No, but also it's the manner in which they died.
Yeah.
What are the odds that everyone's enjoying the game, the guy who owns the house goes to bed, and then they all go outside and collapse at the same time.
Yeah. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So from News Nation, I'll read this this article from Tyler Warnell. It says the longtime girlfriend of a Kansas City man who was found dead in the backyard of a friend's home earlier this month is refuting any notion or allegations that her partner abused drugs. In the weeks since David Harrington and 2 other men were found dead, 2 days after they had gathered to watch a Chiefs game, I can read English hard. Police have released a few details. They said the police have come out and they said they do not suspect foul play, which the families are suspecting foul play.
He says he had a fan on, so he couldn't hear anything.
Oh, is that what his defense is?
Yeah, he went to sleep with a fan on, which that's what I do.
Yeah, me too.
But to not notice them for 2 days, were they covered in snow?
Yeah.
So, all right. I mean, it's possible.
It's also weird that the families didn't show up the day after.
Right.
When you're not
Right.
getting any messages back from the person, you would think that that person's dead too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a very weird situation that's happening. A lot of red flags.
A lot of red jerseys.
But yeah, red flags, red jerseys, there's a lot going around. David was not a drug addict like they're talking about. And I think this is someone who obviously loves the person who passed away, but to be completely honest, like I said, you do not have to be a drug addict to try cocaine at a party one time.
No.
And as we know, fentanyl is a thing that, gets put into cocaine quite often, way too much. And people don't know just by looking at it that it's not that. And you don't have to be a drug addict to be like, oh, I'll do a line at a party. It's everywhere out here. And it's probably everywhere in every other state.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very easy to just be like, all right, let's do something fun, whatever. So yeah, they found
there's snow outside, there's snow inside.
Yeah. Clayton McGeeney and Ricky Johnson, along with Harrington, are the 3 men that were found dead outside of the Kansas City home of their friend Jordan Willis.
Oh, this is what confused me. Jordan Willis is an HIV researcher.
Yeah.
And protein scientist.
Yes.
So I think for some reason that got muddled in my head, and I assumed he was some like tech or like out in, the Bay Area studying this, like at Stanford or something. But
yeah.
Okay. So that's a pretty big, that's a major, position he was doing.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it's another weird aspect to this story.
Yeah.
That it's like this important AIDS researcher. I assume it's important because we need to cure AIDS.
Right. And if they're in that high powered of a position, you would think they'd have to report to work on Monday.
Yeah.
So what is he not doing at work in those 2 days?
I mean, yeah, because you can't research HIV from the living room.
You can't. The fan's too loud. So the Kansas City Police Department, there were family members that came on and talked to News Nation and said that the police did assure the family that when all the details come out, it will make sense. But there are certain family members of these people that were found dead that said they literally think that their family member was murdered.
It's not adding up.
It's not adding up. There's no stab wounds, no bullet wounds, no bruises or trauma. They weren't beaten, stabbed, or shot.
But no toxicology report either.
Not yet.
And that's major.
That is the smoking gun, if you will.
Yeah.
The agency,
the smoking pipe.
Yeah. Smoking straw. The agency stressed that the case has not been ruled a homicide or a suspicious death because there were no obvious signs of foul play. So there's a lot going on. Apparently, this guy Jordan switched his story. Like his lawyer went on TV and told 2 different stories. But regardless, his attorney, John Pacerno, said his client did nothing wrong.
Okay. I know I said it wasn't a party here, but look at this.
Hey.
I believe I ordered the large beer.
Or the large. Shout out to Mike Myers there.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
So I married an axe murderer. So one of the family members said David was murdered. It does not make any sense to have 3 men dead laying in the yard and him to be asleep for 48 hours.
Wait, he says he was asleep the entire time?
Yeah.
That is not believable.
So that is what the mom of one of the guys that died came out and said.
It's not believable, though, that the contrary is also not believable.
Yeah.
That he would be awake and not see them, or that he would have killed them somehow
Yeah.
and then decided just to leave them there.
Yeah.
That's not believable either.
The lawyer started changing his semantics when he was on TV the other day, and he said that there was a discrepancy because Jordan had said he did not receive the text messages or Facebook messages. And he said his phone received them, but he did not receive them. Just because the phone received it doesn't mean he read them.
I mean, that's a good point.
It is a point. We don't know.
I have unread texts in my phone right now.
The one thing is, though, Facebook, whatever, there's no setting to turn off the fact that you did read the message. So whenever you do read it, it shows up as read to the person who sent it.
So did it show up as read?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's something we'll have to find out here.
Yeah.
But the mom of one of the guys that passed away said, I believe Jordan does know, and I'm asking Jordan to please come forward and tell the truth because he knows what happened that night. He's the only one that can give all of our families some peace, which is probably true.
Mm-hmm. But he can't say anything now. He's lawyered up.
Yeah. And he moved out of the house.
He did.
Like 2 days after it happened. Yeah, the police showed up. He said he didn't know anything was going on until the police arrived at his door.
So why did he move out? What was his reason?
Who knows? I mean, his friends died there. He's a little freaked out, maybe.
He's like, they didn't tell me about the dead bodies at this place. He goes insane.
Yeah.
But that is weird to move out so fast.
Yeah.
Although, would you really want to stay there?
I don't know. He was probably scared of, since it was getting traction in the news too, people showing up like the people did to Brian Laundrie's parents, harassing them every time they walked in and out of the house.
Well, they deserved it.
They definitely deserved it. They deserve worse.
And so, yeah, but it's still his place though, right? I assume.
Yeah, he did own the house.
Yeah, he just fled.
Well, he got a U-Haul. They had pictures of the U-Haul in the driveway. Yeah.
So what does that mean? He's going to sell the house now?
Maybe.
A U-Haul that fast?
Yeah, you can get a U-Haul at a drop of a
No,
dime.
I don't mean it like that. I just mean the whole idea of it.
U-Haul in this economy?
To decide that. Yeah, he goes to Home Depot to get labor. Labor.
Andale.
He should call us. We can give him a hand.
Yeah.
On TaskRabbit. No, but the idea that he just like, all right, I'm going to move now.
Yeah.
That'll solve my issue for now.
Yeah.
Just take all this stuff out. Usually people lay a little lower than that. It's a little obvious if you show up in a U-Haul 2 days after your friends are dead in the backyard. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the fifth man's attorney, Andrew Talge, said that his client arrived at Willis's place around 7 p.m. on January 7th and left around midnight. He claimed Willis and the 3 men were alive and watching TV when he left for the night. So the fifth guy that was there, he takes off. Everybody's good.
So the fifth guy, he's the lucky one.
Yeah, he's just like,
wow,
I got out. Everything's good.
I mean, what does that feel like if you're hanging out with a group of guys like, all right, peace out, see everyone later. Then you find out you're the only one that didn't die of the visitors.
That's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. He might have been the guy that showed up with a bag of Coke and left it with them and took off.
He probably felt like one of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. Jesus.
Or he's lucky he didn't end up like the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, good.
I'm working on my material.
There you go. Well, we're live, so
I'll edit that out.
Yeah, he said his client then received a text from McGeeney's fiance and Johnson's mother on January 9th asking where the guys were. So that's 2 days later. It just seems like a long time to not go demand answers at the front door. Or call the police the next day.
He seemed completely unconcerned.
Yeah. Paserno told News Nation phone records can prove that Jordan Willis never sent any text messages in the 2-day span, which no one's accused him of. They've only accused him of not responding. So that's a little like trying to make a point without making a point.
And at the very least, he's a bad HIV researcher.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I don't want my HIV researcher sleeping for 48 hours.
Yeah.
I want them to be awake in the lab, finding a cure.
Getting shit done.
Yeah, get to it.
Yeah. But the lawyer is indicating that because he didn't send any messages back, that indicates he hadn't checked to see any of the messages.
Okay. Well, that still doesn't mean he's innocent.
Yeah. The deaths have left 3 families shattered, and Cruz wants the world to know who Harrington truly was, a loving father. She said, "We have 6 children that don't have a dad. We have families, we have friends, and we're all hurting. And I don't want to hear what everybody has to say, but I do." Because people online talking about it.
Who?
Not us. David was a good guy. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time, which clearly. But this story I wanted to cover specifically because it reminds me of a story that happened here in Los Angeles with some people I know. In September of 2021, there was 3 comedians that died and 1 comic that was also hospitalized. And
barely survived.
Barely. And it's really rough. Comedian Fuquan Johnson was one of 3 comedians that died, and I met Fuquan a long time ago. He was in town in Boston, and Will Sylvince. Shout out to Will Sylvince, very funny comic. He's a regular at the Comedy Cellar in New York City. He has connections to everybody, but he knew I was in Boston at the time, and he called me saying, "Hey, I got 3 friends that are in Boston. They want to do a show. Can I connect them to you?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." And like 10 minutes later, I get a call, and it's from Craig Wayans. And Craig is the family member, and at the time, he probably still is, manager of Sean and Marlon Wayans. So Sean and Marlon Wayans and Fuquan all came and met up with me, and I took them to go do a show in Somerville, Massachusetts. And Fuquan ended up like going up first, and it was a rowdy Boston crowd that heckled him, and he had no fear whatsoever. He's like, "I don't give a fuck. I will fuck you up right now." And Sean was too scared to go on stage after that. And then Marlon went up and just destroyed.
So what are you saying about Sean?
I'm saying Sean was a little scared, and I have no problem saying that publicly.
Gloves are off.
Sean should have went up. But, you know, he was a little nervous. And Fuquan was just, I had so much respect for him after that. And unfortunately, it was a few years ago that he and some other comedians, Rico Angeli, who was also from Massachusetts, and Natalie Williamson, they all just did a little bit of cocaine together. And 3 of them died. And Kate Quigley, who was also there, passed out for almost 24 hours and then woke up. And there was someone like banging on the door trying to get in the house, and called the police and ambulances, and she was able to be taken to the hospital, and she has survived. And what I think is happening with Jordan is the same thing, because Kate Quigley went through hell after that. The one who survives gets the brunt of everyone's anger. So, I mean,
survivor's guilt.
Everybody, well, yeah, that's absolutely true. But it's a bunch of people that agreed to do the same drug.
Yeah.
And one person miraculously survives, and they get all the hate saying, "You killed your friends." And I think that this is probably the same thing.
You think that they were all doing drugs, the same drugs.
I think that they
Oh,
all.
and okay. All right. And so then Jordan Willis, the AIDS researcher, was the Kate Quigley of that scenario,
I think he
where
might be.
he passed out for 48 hours.
Yeah, he could have
So
died if it's
he's
the same.
innocent then.
I think he might be, but he's scared to death uh, of the consequences and people's anger. It's just unfortunate that the person who survives gets the brunt.
The weirdest part I think that people have trouble wrapping their minds around is that the three of them were outside.
Yeah,
The three of them died outside and there's no signs of foul play. So what did they all it just hit them all at the same time?
yeah.
Did they go like were there cigarettes found by their body?
That's what I was thinking. Maybe they were smoking out back after they did a line and went outside and they all just dropped.
Perhaps everyone dropped at the same time, and if they had been inside, they might have survived. Like
Oh,
maybe
wow.
they all would have slept for 48 hours and woken up in the living room. But because they passed out outside while they're having a cigarette, they froze to death.
I didn't know also if there was like a fire pit or something out back and
Right.
they just went to go sit around it.
There's more. We need more details about why all three would be outside.
Yeah. But I just think Matthew Decker here is making a good point. The strangest part, one of them died in a different area, though. And that is true. I believe that the first person that was found was on the porch, and the other two were like in the backyard.
Oh,
Oh, one of them was found in the garden.
wow.
But then again, you got to think like if you feel like you're overdosing and you're panicking, fight or flight takes over, and you could just try to go for a walk and walk it off.
Yeah, that would happen to me if I was ever feeling sick from drinking or whatever. Yeah, I'm in that like, all right, I need to go be by myself now. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
walk it off over here and maybe throw up.
Yeah.
That could have been going on.
Yeah, it's tough. But the fact that police are saying to the family, like, it's going to make sense when toxicology comes out. They must have seen something. If it's a bag that was sitting around somewhere or, residue in their nostrils.
Well, obviously, all three didn't die of old age.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, something happened here.
Yeah.
It could have been tainted sushi for all we know.
Yeah. But the fact that one of the family members is coming out and saying the word murder is that's heavy.
All right, then we have to find motive.
Yeah.
We have to figure out what Jordan Willis gains if those three are dead. Did they have pictures of him doing weird stuff?
Yeah, true.
Like what's going on here? Why would he want them dead?
Did they blackmail him? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's too much.
I think you go Occam's razor, and it's the most logical conclusion. And if three people died at the same time, it has to be like cocaine is a party drug or get together drug. You said no.
Oh yeah.
Call back. Here we go.
Get together drug.
Nobody's going to a party and trying heroin for the first time. Like that is you go to like sketchy drugs and party drugs.
Yeah.
Heroin's more of like you do it by yourself or you do it with other people that are heroin addicts.
Yeah.
Because the only way you die in this quick sort of fashion is either heroin or fentanyl overdoses.
Right.
No, they weren't all HIV researchers. It was just Jordan, I believe. That was the only one.
Huh. And what does that entail? That is such an interesting detail to the story.
Yeah, it's like you're a scientist that's trying to save people's lives.
Yeah.
And then three of your good friends die at your house and you don't answer texts for 2 days, which, it goes back to the situation I was talking about. Kate was passed out for almost a full day and ended up surviving. So maybe that's the case. And anytime something like that happens, you're going to have lawyers knocking on your door and telling you do not say anything to anyone about anything.
Yeah, the 48-hour sleep is either a big fat lie
Yeah.
or it's true, and that could only happen with drugs.
Yeah.
Really, how else would that ever happen? What does that even mean? Like, did he get up and go to the bathroom and then go back to sleep? Or was he out really that long?
I mean, it sounds like he's trying to say that he was out that long and not
That's
looking at his phone.
heroin.
Well, fentanyl is even stronger
Yeah.
some of the times. Even carfentanil is 1,000 times stronger than
It
fentanyl.
does support that story then.
Yeah. He might have done a little less than everybody else, and that's why he passed out for 2 days and survived. We don't know.
I mean, I guess that seems the most likely.
Yeah. I don't think there's any other thing that could possibly happen.
Just have to know why they were outside.
Unless they were, like, so
Why
pissed
were the
drunk.
Why were the three of them conveniently outside? And they all died outside.
Yeah. Cigarette, fire pit, freaking out because they felt weird after something they took.
And at the same time, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
did one of them die and the other saw that person die?
Yeah.
How did this work? Like, there wasn't enough time clearly for if they did see their friend die to go call anybody.
Yeah. And I think murder is like a very harsh term for whatever happened, because if you're going to kill people, especially 3 of your close friends, would you do it at your own house and then just sit around and not answer calls when you're getting them? It would be a little bit more planned out than that, I would assume.
Yeah.
Either he's really bad at killing people and just didn't give a shit about getting away with it, or something accidentally happened and he's not able to talk about it. And it's frustrating
Right.
for the families because they know this guy and they would just be like, why don't you just tell me what happened?
Yeah, if it was murder, it would be an even dumber Glass Onion type story.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have tainted all of your hot dogs. And enjoy your last minutes on Earth.
Yeah, for
And then
real.
he goes and then he says he was sleeping, but he's lying.
Yeah.
That would be the evil.
And he's just in the window watching.
Right. And then we have to figure out why he needed them gone.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, what possibly could have happened?
Well, we don't know anything about these people.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here.
Yeah. I mean, in the next week or two, I assume that the toxicology is going to come out and it's going to say fentanyl because there's no other reason.
I'll say this much. They look like normal, nice guys in that photo.
Yeah, you're going to check out a playoff game at your buddy's place.
But you also would never guess that Jordan is an AIDS researcher.
I mean, who would you look at and be like, that's an AIDS researcher?
Like maybe a dude with like spiky blonde hair and glasses.
Sure.
And a white lab coat.
Yeah, working at an AIDS clinic. That guy works with AIDS. Yeah, I mean, there's no other logical conclusion. I just think that it is odd that all the families are going on TV and having these, discussions with newscasters about how they think that foul play is going on. I think it's just, honestly, they're doing a little bit of, it seems like reputation control, saying like, if they think that people found out if they died from doing a line of cocaine, that people are going to think they're drug addicts forever.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not the case.
No,
It's an unfortunate thing.
I've known, in my life too, people that happen to, and it's just wrong place at the wrong time, as the family said.
Matthew says that just sounds like someone who works at Aeropostale.
Right.
With the frosted tips.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it's a scenario that could happen to any young person.
It could literally happen to anyone at a party or
Yeah.
a get together where someone says, hey, do this line. And you go,
Yeah.
okay.
And there's some very permanent consequences when it is the wrong line.
Yeah. There was a police officer that claimed that he just touched this drug that one of the criminals he arrested had on him, and just touching it made him almost pass out. I think he lied and did like a line of it and was like dying in a parking lot and had to get Narcan from another police officer. Um, it just it is such a prevalent thing, and
That
people.
sounds like Bad Lieutenant. Harvey Keitel.
Yeah,
Just snorting drugs from the lockers.
it happens more than you would think. I know some police officers, and I've heard some crazy stories.
Yeah.
Evidence lockers do get raided, but yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. I think that just happened, and I think the family's just very frustrated that they're not able to talk to someone that they know, and they're not getting the answers they want.
Very understandably, they want to understand what happened.
Yeah.
And we can't understand it until we get more details.
Yeah, and details are coming. So as soon as we get more details, we will report back.
What will be really weird is if the toxicology report comes back and they don't find anything.
If it's completely clean.
Yeah, they're all natural causes.
Well, the only way that it could possibly happen is if they were so like pissed drunk from drinking all day that they just all fell asleep outside. But that's still a very.
How is that possible? Oh, here we go. All right. What about this? So Jordan goes up to bed. He's like, all right, guys, you're welcome to crash. And then the three of them are like, all right, let's go have a cigarette or whatever. Let's go outside and fuck around. We're all drunk.
Yeah.
And then maybe one of them slips in the snow and then the others follow suit and they're all like giggling, like, we're just being drunken idiots right now.
Yeah.
And then little by little, they just kind of sit there for a second. Then it gets a little later. And then they just all kind of pass out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it could just be a weirdly unfortunate.
It's like some Twilight Zone shit.
Yeah. They were just having their fun.
Yeah.
Fell asleep outside.
Yeah. We just. There's no way of knowing until that toxicology comes back, but that will be very interesting if nobody had anything in their system other than alcohol.
Is that coincidence even possible?
It's certainly possible.
That three people could die at the same time.
I mean, anything's possible. Kevin Garnett said that after the 2008 NBA Finals championship win. Let's go Celtics.
All right. Anyway. So yeah, that's we're pretty much up to date with this case.
Yeah, I think we're totally up to date. If you guys have any theories or anything, let us know. You can leave a comment here or send us an email at deathandentertainment@gmail.com. But yeah, it's not adding up right now, but I don't know if it's as crazy as murder, which is what some of the families are saying. But yeah, definitely wanted to discuss it before the toxicology comes out because, that is going to answer a lot of questions or add some questions if there's nothing.
Yeah. So we will be waiting. And we also want to say hello to Goose's Corner.
Oh, yeah. Another.
It says, hey, guys, support from New York too. Love the pod.
Yeah. So we got multiple New Yorkers out there.
And it's late there. What are y'all doing still up?
Yeah. You guys are up on a Saturday. 2 in the morning.
In the city that never sleeps. Come on.
Yeah. Go to bed.
Get some sleep.
Don't go sleep outside.
No, but get some sleep inside and not for 48 hours.
No. Matthew's asking, what's our Instagram? They'll be in Los Angeles in the spring and want to take the bus tour. I'll be at the Chateau Marmont. Oh, wow. Maybe we'll come see you.
Yeah.
Because we got to do a pod straight from the Chateau, to be honest. We've been thinking about that for a while.
Yeah, we need an invitation from you.
Yeah, we'll let you know. Our Instagram is at Death and Entertainment. Alejandro's is at Alejandro. Yeah. Mark,
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like Alejandro. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is at Kyle Plouffe. And Mark's is at Mark Mulcairn. So
and it will most likely be a walking tour, not a bus tour.
Yeah, we are about to start our Hollywood Death and Entertainment walking tour along the Hollywood Walk of Fame,
where there's a lot of stories, legends,
yeah,
ghosts,
a lot going on. But yeah, if you have a room at the chateau. We'll come and do a pod in your room, okay? That's a dipod promise. And Goose's Corner said the notification popped up right before he was going to go to sleep.
Oh, great. Well, we're glad we could. we made the cutoff.
All
And
right,
then
Matthew's in for the walking tour. Here we go.
oh, great.
First customer sold.
We're going to get our 10,000 steps
Yeah.
on that day.
Yeah.
And then we just want to say that we are having fun here with testing out the live stream, and
Yep.
we're going to be doing this every week now.
Yes, there is going to be a new show from Death and Entertainment coming to our YouTube channel called Death in Entertainment Tonight Live and in stereo. It's going to be on Tuesday, January 30th at 7 p.m.
And then it will be every Tuesday.
Yes, but the first one coming up. Make sure to be there 3 days from now.
And it'll be a lot like this, except Tuesday.
Yeah, and more stories.
Yes.
But
whatever we feel like talking about, whatever you feel like talking about,
yeah,
quite
exactly.
frankly.
Send us some suggestions. We got a Patreon episode coming in the next few days. We already recorded it. It's about Vince McMahon.
And oh boy, I hadn't heard the allegations, but Kyle detailed everything, and I am speechless.
It is a full 1 hour that you will not find on Spotify or YouTube anywhere else. It is only on our Patreon, so make sure to go check that out. And yeah, I think that's about it.
And our regular podcast also.
Yes.
This week, a great episode about
Issei Sagawa, the first and only that we know about celebrity cannibal from Japan. So
yeah, that's coming this week wherever you get your podcasts.
iTunes, Spotify, Google, wherever.
So Matthew, Goose's Corner, Mark,
we love you.
Everyone, all deados out there. Have a wonderful Saturday, Sunday morning, whatever.
Yep.
And we will see you soon.
All righty.
Bye.
Mwah.